What is up, you beautiful buggers? Welcome to Budget Cars and Bikes. We are in the kitchen on the blue mat. That can mean only one thing, of course. We've got another tech product to review here, this time from Xtool. I've been trying to get a collaboration with Xtool for years because they do supply pretty much the best diagnostic stuff out there on the market for European, American, and obviously Chinese, Japanese cars, etc., etc. And they're very hard to actually get hold of and sort out any kind of collaboration when it comes to their products because they tend to be a bit expensive, and they, as I said, they don't really need to promote their stuff that much because everybody knows about them. But finally they responded and sent me out this bad boy. And when I say bad boy, I mean crikey, what a bloody unit. There's my hand. It's a big old girl. This is the new, not even on the market yet. This, I believe, will be the first review online, as in YouTube review. If certainly for the UK, that's a guarantee. But I think this is actually the first YouTube video we're going to see on this new Xtool Compass Edition. They do a Compass and a Compass Master. I believe this is just the Compass. We'll find out in a second. I have already unboxed it, as you can see, because the box was just bloody enormous and it seemed silly to kind of try to throw that at you. But now we are going to unbox it in its box, as it were, to find out exactly what this does. I've had a quick look through what I can find online about this. It's a tasty bit of kit, guys. Anyway, if you are in the market for pretty much the best scanner out there on the market so far this year, which is what I would deem semi-professional, but can be used by DIYers as well. This isn't going to be cheap, but it's going to be bloody good. So if you're interested in finding out more, stay tuned. We're going to get this unboxed. I'll show you what's inside and we'll go through some of the specs. Alright guys, well when it comes to unboxing, that's pretty much all we had to do. There's some little clips at the side here, as you can see. You open those up. I have to say they feel a little bit chintzy and cheap, just little bits of tin. Would have liked to have seen better. The box itself is incredibly robust. It's solid plastics, as you would expect. This kind of layout here reminds me very much of the X431 from launch. I'll stick a link in up here somewhere, whereby you have all your connectors over here. We'll pop these open just ever so quickly and give you a little overview of what's going on in there. As you can see, there are a myriad of connectors in there for all sorts of different cars, especially these kind of connectors for the older BMWs. That's what that's all about. There are connectors in here you will never have seen before, effectively. But this, I imagine, will be, as I said, very much similar to the X431 from launch, in the respect that you can actually plug in to pre-1996 cars for diagnostics and that kind of stuff. This thing here doesn't seem I want to go back in. We'll stick that over there for a minute. Anyway, that is it there. There are so many connections there. There is a full list in the instruction manual, obviously. I'm not going to go through all of them there, but they do cover the older Hyundais, BMWs, Citroens, that kind of stuff. And as you can see, I think we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different connectors there as well. Plus, obviously, we've got a load of stuff in here. I believe that's a universal one there. We've got our plugs over here, so we've got a European one by the looks of it at the top, and our UK one just there with the block. In here are some more connectors. Again, we would have to look through every single section of the instruction manual to find out exactly what all these fit, but I may put something in on the side here just to let you know exactly what's going on there. Not quite sure what that's all about. Suffice to say, if you're in a garage environment, semi-professional, mobile mechanic, that kind of stuff, and you need to know you've got every single connection you could possibly need or want, it's going to be in here. That's a given. Right, we managed to get that little section back in. There's a bit of a buggery going on there, but they've got sticky pads underneath, so they're a bit, they don't quite fit as well as they could. This almost seems like a bit of an afterthought, this kind of section up here, because it's just got this section here kind of marking away 3, 2, 3, and then obviously the 4 at the bottom there. Not a big fan of that. Could have been done better. Probably will be in the next generation. Possibly it's in the Master. I'm not a massive fan of that, I have to say, but it works, you know, it's there. This here, sorry, will probably flop about a little bit. You'll have to make sure you've got them all exactly where they need to be, otherwise the drawer won't close, as you can see. So we've got those sorted out. We've had a little look at those. As I said, can't go through every single one. I've probably stuck a little thing in the left hand corner already just to show you what that's all about. Down to the big boy. This is the new VCI. Very, very lightweight, apparently. It's a bit big, though, I have to say, compared to some of them. When I say VCI, if you're not au fait with those, these are the bits that stick inside your car and act as a Bluetooth dongle, effectively. You just pop that into your car, into the OBD socket, and obviously then you use the big boy up here. This is the compass, the whole unit, the show winner, as it were. Up here, we will get this out of the way now. I'll open this up, we'll turn it on and see exactly what we get in there prior to testing it all out. So there's the star of the show, guys. There's the unit itself. It is a 10.1 inch screen here, full high definition, 1920 by 1200, I do believe. It's running Android 10. We'll get into that user interface in a second. It's got an octa-core processor in there, running 2.2 gigahertz, which should be plenty enough. 8 gigabytes of RAM with 128 gigabytes of storage, which I'm assuming will be expandable as well with a micro SD card, although I've seen no reference to that as yet. 6,400 milliamp battery as well, which is more than enough for one of these. You think about what's in your phone and how long that lasts. 64 or 6,400 milliamp is going to be more than enough on here. You shouldn't have to really charge this up more than once a week or something. 8 megapixel camera for taking pictures, which, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not quite sure why you'd want to do that. You'd use your phone, wouldn't you, really? It will support an endoscope as well. You'd have to buy that separately. It's got the CAN FD support as well. We've talked about this many times in the past, whereby you can do all the new CAN systems, but the new ones, as in 2024 onwards, I believe, because a lot of the scanners that are pre that will do the CAN, but they won't do the CAN FD, which is the upgraded one. So that's integrated into here. It also has Tesla support. Yes, electric car support. Although it says it does do Teslas, you have to buy the extra lead, which I don't know how I feel about that. At this price point, you've got to buy a lead just to do your Tesla, even though it does it. It reminds me very much of KTM when they sell you the 1290 Super Duke and then say, right, it's got a quick shifter, but you've got to pay us to actually activate it. It's that kind of scenario, which I don't really agree with. If you're going to support Teslas, give us a cable. You know, I don't get that. But, you know, at least it does it. 3-year subscription is well included in this. We'll go through all the stuff that will include and give you. Not sure what the price to renew the subscription is because they haven't told me effectively. We've got the topology graphing map system in here as well, just like the X431 from launch. We've already covered that, but we'll try to get in there when we get out to the car. It also has ADAS support. This is the first ADAS supported diagnostic scanner I've seen on the market, and it's probably the first one out there. What's ADAS, you may ask? It is for your cameras, basically your radar, your adaptive cruise control, that kind of stuff. You can recalibrate it. You may have seen online there's been guys that have had to take their cars, their electric cars, or their 360 cameras, adaptive cruise control vehicles to certain dealers to have them recalibrated, because sometimes they, even if they're out by literally half a millimeter, the system won't work. This will recalibrate that, which is a game changer. I think you'd have to agree. If you know what you're doing and you're comfortable to do it, this will do it for you. Again, brilliant for the home mechanic who's got a bit of experience getting their heads around these kind of things. Mobile mechanics, even a top proper garage, as it were, I would suggest you would probably need one of these. I don't even think Snap-on are doing that ADAS support yet, so that's incredible to see. Anyway, let's get this turned on. We'll see what the user interface looks like and go from there. Startup sequence has been initiated. Took a little bit of time. I mean, it's the first turn on, so you do get that often with mobile phones as well. The first startup's always a little bit slow and it progressively gets quicker. But yeah, pressing the power button, I think I had to press it for like at least 6, 7, 8 seconds. Nice startup graphic there as well. You know, I don't have a problem with that. Let's see how quickly we can get into the actual interface. Okay, welcome. So we'll press that button there. We'll choose English. Yeah, it's not the... Oh, I see. Sorry, my mistake. So we'll press next, London, next, and we'll see how quickly we can get into there. Initializing configuration, please wait. As I said, first startup, so in that respect, they always take a little bit of time. They want me to pump in stuff. Now, you can register, obviously. I think we showed you just on here. I'll try to cover this up a second. But here, basically, you'll get a serial number with your kind of little pack that comes in there. You'll register that under your email address, that kind of stuff for your 3-year subscription. Then you just log in. Or you can just do what I'm going to do, which is the trial. And it'll give you a little message saying you've got 7 times to explore the full functionality. Please log in, etc., etc. But we just want to have a little look at the user interface. And there it is. That is the Compass user interface. interface. We've got 85% battery just sitting up there. We're connected to the internet because I did this prior to doing this video just to save a little bit of time. Not quite sure what this Solara is. It takes me to a website where I think you can buy some extra programming. Not quite sure about that. We'll have to do a follow-up on that in the future. Remote control, again, I'm not sure what the remote control is all about, because again they haven't really explained that on their own website, and there's not very much in here to tell me. If I did work it out after I've made this bit, I'll stick it in over here somewhere. Settings, as you would expect to see, is just language, units, metric to imperial, US, sound and display, everything's set to maximum. Storage management, you know, it's just very generic Android kind of user interface there, not much to sing and shout about. The one we want to have a look at, obviously, with many of these is the same kind of thing. You want to have a look at the special functions, and there are a lot. There are a huge amount. You've got power balancing, obviously. You've got your seat calibration. I mean, I won't tell you every single one. You can see them there. Pause the video if you want to, but there's not a lot that it doesn't have. It's even got AdBlue. You can reset your ECU, which is a scary kind of thing, but you know, if you know what you're doing with that, then fabulous. As we go down, you've got your odometer read, which I'm assuming probably means you can do a mileage correction on here as well. You can reset your rain and light sensors, your AFR adaptation, your high voltage batteries, going back to the whole kind of electric car system there. First time I've ever seen that. The usual stuff, the gearbox adaptation, DPF, ABS, EGR, etc., etc. You can write a VPN. You can write a VIN as well as a VIN number, which is something I've never seen before. Coolant system functions, I've never seen that before. EVAP test, I think we've had that a few times. Oil reset, obviously, is what it says. EPB, which is your parking brake. Your AC, as in your air conditioning relay. There's your EDAS or ADAS system there for calibrating your adaptive cruise control, your 360 cameras, that kind of stuff. Never, ever, ever seen that before. We've got the Windows initialization, which is basically bi-directional in that regard. Turbo relearn, water pump actuation. Never seen that before either. Suspension adaptation, tire size reset. Never seen that before either. Or the cam sensor adaptation, or the NOx reset. I've never seen any of these things on any of the units we've reviewed so far, and we've reviewed a lot of expensive scanners as well. I mean, the only comparison to this, as I've said previously, is probably the Launch X431, I think it is, the Pro. That was an amazing bit of kit, very, very similar in regard to size and functionality, apart from the fact that this, when you look at the special function menu, is just next level. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. Obviously, when it comes to these kind of special functions, you're going to need a car that's a little bit more modern in regards to what you can do and what this will help you to do. But obviously, we have got the OBD2 scan function as well. We'll go into that when we get out to the car. There's a report there. It'll do a pre-report and a post-report. In other words, you can just plug it in. It'll tell you everything. And then when you've done everything, it'll tell you what it did and what it didn't do and what it found, etc., etc. You can always read up your reports there. There's not much in the more section there. It just gives you a quick user manual, which may be very, very useful. The endoscope as well. As I said, it's got a kind of a plug-in for an endoscope, which you've got to buy separately, which is a bit of a bum make. But, you know, what can you do? You can obviously edit your profile, and then you've got your vehicle coverage just here, and it does have a lot of vehicles inside here. This is basically a search function part of this. You just go in there and say what car you've got, what year, etc., etc. But I do believe there is another way to get into that. We'll have a little look a little bit later. I've just found inside one of the packages as well a little list here. If I didn't do it before, the connections that we were talking about inside the unit, inside the box, are all listed just here. As you can see there, that's the different connectors there, and I hope that makes some sense to you guys. I've just got an OBD2, so that doesn't really make a lot of difference to me, but if you are in the business, as it were, that may be very useful for you to see down there. That's just basically a quick overview of what you get in the box. And obviously we've got our vehicle coverage inside here, and as you can see, there are a lot. We've got Europe, America, and Asia this time around, or you can search by VIN by the looks of things. And yeah, as you can see, pretty comprehensive when it comes to what you get as a standard standard setup in there. Anyway, let's get back out of there. Let's get back to the home screen. There we are. I'm going to pop out to the car, get all this plugged in, see if I can find out any more information for you before we put this through its tests, and I show you exactly what it cannot do, and then we'll pop back in the house after that, and I'll give you my kind of conclusions. I'll talk to you about pricing, where you can get it. There'll be links in the description, etc, etc. That's the basic unboxing and overview of the interface, the Android 10 unit, and it's time to get it out there and actually see what it can do in the car. So let's get out there and have a look. Okay guys, so here we are in our old Nissan. It's a bit of a shit show in here as usual, and of course it's raining. Every review we've done, well the last 3 reviews we've done I think in the car, it's been raining, so that's always a bit of a drag. But anyway, we are in the Nissan Qashqai 2012 J10, so a bit of an older car. It will not from experience do an auto scan up here, because if we press that, this is an auto VIN effectively. It will find out what your VIN number is, so there's no confusion. You won't type in the wrong car, that kind of stuff. It's an auto scan, but it's really an auto VIN search. It won't do it. I know it won't do it because I tried just now, but I just wanted to show you guys what happens. It'll just do this auto scan for about 5 minutes, and then eventually it'll say, sorry, you don't have auto scan for your VIN, which is probably the age of the car. And I did notice if you actually swipe up slightly here, you've got this little row here, so you can just swipe out of there. It should in a second come up and say, let's try that again. And here's the other screen we didn't actually see in the house as well. This is just basically the tablet screen. As you can see up here, we've got some widgets, some useless stuff really, I suppose, some quick support. You've got Adobe Reader for some bizarre reason, a calculator. I guess that might be good for working out the data streams and stuff. Not sure. You've got your camera, obviously. I guess Chromium is like a browser. Then you've got your files, gallery, and your settings for the tablet. We're not interested in that. We're going to go straight into the diagnostics. There's the VIN code is not recognized crap there. We're going to basically quickly pop this in here. It should have it just here actually, because I put it in from earlier on. So as I said, effectively we've inputted manually our VIN. It's just written up there. I don't care if you see that or not. We press the search. It should then in theory come up with our Nissan 26 to 2012, or rather 2006. Okay, that's our Qashqai there. We press OK again, and it should then start scanning through. Well, that will give us an overview of what we can see. The ECU configuration, pre-post scan, automatic scan. We'll try the automatic scan first. This is the topology I was talking about earlier on. I love this new way of doing things with these scanners. It's really, really useful just to see exactly what's going on there. Obviously, I think the grey stuff is either non-responsive or it doesn't actually have it on the car. The green is normal. The multi-system is in pink. The not scanned will be just basically clear. And I'm assuming the red ones will come up in the number of DTCs. I'm not actually expecting to see anything adverse here anywhere, because we've scanned this car so many times and cleared so many codes. There's not much to basically scan on this car because it is slightly older, but everything is as it should be by the looks of things. And there we go. There's the DTC report. You can save that. You can do whatever you like with that. You can clear all the DTCs obviously down here. It's effectively like an OBD to scan, but with the topology here. So say if I wanted to go into ABS there, it would say the number of DTCs are 0. It's the anti-lock braking system. You diagnose that. This vehicle communicating, but there's nothing wrong. So there's no point in that really, is there? Let's get back out of there, back into diagnostics. The read the DTCs is as you would expect it to be. Clear DTCs, live data. That's always quite an interesting one. All data streams. Control unit input signals, maybe that's where we want to go. I just want to see if we can get up certain things. Battery voltage, selected lever position, accelerator position. If we just have a little look there. Okay, so if you just watch that one up there for a second, I'll put my foot on the accelerator and you'll see it was 92.5, so it's percent, so it's working, because I had it literally flat to the floor virtually. There you go, 100%. So that'll be your data streams there. What else can I tell you? Let's just get back out of there. There is a back button just at the top here as well, guys, if I can ever press it properly with my big special function fingers that I've got. Special functions will pop into here. Adjustment of steering angle sensor. Okay, well, that's interesting. Oh, that's because we're in the anti-lock braking system. If we go back out of there and back out of here, we've already had a look at the topology. System select. Let's have a little look in here then. Oh, here we are then. Right, so you can basically go in there and have a little look at your intelligent key, your audio system, your airbags, power steering, that kind of thing. Rear view camera, we don't have any of that, so that's the system selection. The ADAS calibration, of course, we don't have that on this 2012 Nissan Qashqai, but there's your rear view camera, there's your side blind cameras. That's basically to recalibrate the cameras so you can get them back into parameters, as it were. So if you've got a car, maybe it's a Cat S, a Cat N, something like that, it's had a knock at the front or the rear, and then basically because of that, it's knocked the cameras out of calibration. This is what you would use, I'm assuming, to get that sorted out. ECU configuration. Not sure what's... Oh, okay, here we are then. Function of anti-key lock, power windows, answer back function. Okay, this, by the looks of it, yeah, this is the BCM. Okay, fair enough then. Function of anti-lock function, da-da-da-da, on. Okay, I'm not actually 100% sure what that is. Hopefully you guys have got a better idea than I do on here, and we'll get back out of there. I don't know what the post... Okay, we're just going to go back into here then. Okay, let's get out of there for a second. As I said, you can always go back and out of here and then back into the diagnostics. Yes, I want to get out of there. Thank you very much. We don't want that. We'll get out of there. And here we're back at the main screen. Let's have a little look. This remote control, by the way, here, it's not a remote control as you and I would believe it to be. It's actually remote kind of support. So you'd go into there, I'll show you what I mean basically. You'd go into here, you'd send your ID, and somebody on a team viewer will get hold of you and say, you need some help, what's your problem? So it's kind of a support system, as it were. This Solera auto data thing here, you can just buy some more support basically. If you've got some codes you don't know about, you can buy a subscription to these guys here. They'll basically probably use this remote viewer, remote control thing, as they would like to call it, over here to talk to you and let you know what's going on and what they advise you to do. So we've done the auto scan, which didn't really work. Let's have a little look at the OBD. There's the demo, there's the OBD. We should be able to just get in here. There is our... Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look at auto scan, see what that does. Read trouble codes, clear trouble codes, live data, read free. I mean, it's not very dissimilar to the topology thing, really, if I'm honest. It's just an older version of that. I'm assuming you'd use that with one of your older connections for your older car. There's your Tesla over there, initializing VCI, Model 3, Model Y, Model S, Model X. Okay, fair enough. But as I said, you do need to have the cable, which is, yeah, okay. Let's have a look. EV. Okay, then let's have a look over in America, see what that tells us. I think it's just a list of cars that it will do, but for some reason... Oh, here we are. I did wonder why it was so sparse, shall we say, but you basically go to D and then J and L and all the rest of it. That's for the American market. The European market obviously is going to be as predictable. I mean, there are a lot of cars in here, guys. Huge amount of cars. Then you've got your Asia market as well here, your EVs and your My Vehicle. So basically I put my vehicle into here being a J10 Qashqai, and it would always be there. So that's an overview, guys, of the Xtool Compass kind of user interface, as it were. Not massively dissimilar to some of the ones we've seen before, but as I said, it does have support for EVs and the ADAS system as well, which is just, it's a game changer. I've not seen that before, and I think that's going to be invaluable to a lot of people that do this semi-professionally or even in a professional garage kind of setup. Right, let's get back out of this crappy weather. I'll pop us back into the kitchen on the blue mat, and I'll give you my rundown of the positives, the negatives. We'll talk about potential pricing and whether you should buy one or are there better alternatives. Right, let's get out of the rain. Okay, guys, there we are back in the kitchen effectively on the blue mat. That has been a kind of overview, unboxing, quick test of the Xtool Compass. This is the standard edition, not the master. I'm not quite sure what the master does over the standard edition. It's entirely possible you get the Tesla lead and maybe you get some lifetime updates. I mean, you'll get lifetime OBD updates on this like you would on any kind of scanner these days, really. But you will only get 3 years for the special functions, as in the bi-directional kind of aspect, and probably the ADAS. Not sure. There's still a lot to be learned about this Xtool Compass. It's actually not on the market as yet. This is more of a showcase review to show you what's coming to the market. This has a big brother, as I said, the Master, and it also has a derivative of this, which I'm not quite au fait with the name of that one, but suffice to say, Xtool are bringing out 2 or 3 of these like super duper scanners to the market. They should be out before the new year, from what I gather, sometime in the next few weeks. There are no real reviews out there yet. This is probably the first or second that will be on YouTube. There might be a couple of things on TikTok, but I can't find them effectively. This is the first kind of comprehensive review, for want of a better word. What do we think of it? I kind of like it. It feels really good in the hand. There are a couple of things I'd like to change. Personally, I don't like this hard plastic here for these. I much prefer these to be a soft rubber, so when you drop it on the floor, which you inevitably will do, it's not going to crack. It's just going to bounce. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of kind of protection on it. I mean, that'll protect it for sure, but it's not kind of impact resistance, if that makes any sense. There is no SD card. There's just literally the USB-C Type-C rather, there for charging. Yeah, there's not a lot going on around the unit, as you can see, although there is this kind of copper dock connector at the bottom here. I can only assume that's for connecting it to a dock of some description. Let's get that screen back on. What else can I tell you? It does obviously have the little steering wheel kind of clamp there. Do love that. And it obviously does have the Bluetooth dongle, which means you can work on the car outside, i.e. you can have this plugged in with the ignition on and you can be out in the engine bay doing your little bits and bobs. I'd like it to be a little bit more self-explanatory on the bi-directional functions. I mean, there's no talk of whether this actually is bi-directional. You've got to assume it is. But when you go into the special functions, well, it's not going to do it because we're not plugged in. But, oh, I see, right, okay, well, it is and it isn't, if that makes sense. There's the window initialization, which is a bi-directional kind of function, as is the active electronic pump, and I'm assuming there was somewhere down here something about the water pump as well. I'm assuming that's part of the bi-directional kind of aspect of things. So it kind of is, but there's no real mention of it, which is a bit confusing. So what else? I don't understand why the dongle has to be quite so big, to be honest. And there's no little torch. I've seen a few of these over the last few months where you press a button on the side and there's a little LED light in there which helps you to find the OBD2 socket on your car. There isn't one of those, which you kind of would expect, although there's a button here that doesn't do anything. So yeah, okay. There's your little LED lights there as well, which will flash when it's up and running effectively. But that is our first findings, as it were, of the Xtool Compass. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. We'll do a follow-up on this, no doubt, once they start rolling out more software, which they invariably do on these kind of things. I don't have a price for you yet. If I had to guess, I'd think somewhere in the region of £800 to £1,000 will get you one of these. I'd be surprised if it's more, but I'd be surprised if it's less, because it's got the ADAS system and everything else, plus obviously that huge box of OBD kind of connectors for older cars. Those kind of units tend to be a bit more expensive. I think the launch one, the X431 Pro, was around about £1,000. So I'm expecting this to be in that ballpark, but I've got no confirmation as yet, as I don't have a release date as yet, but I will keep you informed. So obviously there's no purchase link yet. If you've got any questions on where you can find out more about this, drop it in the comments section. If you've got any questions about the scanner, again, drop that in the comments section below. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, a like, a share, all that good stuff. It really, really helps smaller channels. Thank you so much for taking the time to kind of just stop by and watch this. It means the world. If you could subscribe as well, that would be bloody awesome. We're over 11,000 subscribers now, but you know, our next kind of goal is 15,000. So hit that subscribe button if you would, guys. That would really, really help. And we'll catch up in a couple of weeks when we do another car or bike or tech gadget kind of review. But from Budget Cars and Bikes, that has been the Xtool Compass. It's going to be coming soon, and it's going to be a game changer for home mechanics, DIYs, and professional mechanics as well. Look out for this. I'll give you more details as and when they come in. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy. We'll catch up soon.